remember the crunch of gravel under your feet, the sun warm on your shoulders, walking to the mailbox without a second thought. Now maybe you grip the handrail a little tighter or pause before rising from your favorite chair. Today I'll show you 3 simple exercises that can bring back the power, stability, and confidence in your legs. No gym, no equipment. Here's the truth. After 50, we lose up to 15% of our leg strength each decade without intervention. But weak legs aren't a life sentence. They're a wake-up call. Stay with me through all 3, because each one rebuilds the strength that keeps you moving through life with dignity and independence. Exercise 1, the supported calf raise. Picture this. You're walking through the grocery store and you see something on a high shelf that you need. Without thinking, you rise up onto your toes to reach it, confident, balanced, graceful. This simple movement represents so much more than just reaching for an item. It's about maintaining the kind of effortless mobility that makes you feel capable in your own body. Your calf muscles are often called your second heart because they help pump blood back up from your feet to your heart. When these muscles are weak, you don't just lose the ability to rise onto your toes. You lose circulation, balance, and that spring in your step that makes walking feel natural and energizing. The supported calf raise isn't just about stronger calves. It's about reclaiming that feeling of lightness when you walk, that sense of having a reliable foundation beneath you, that confidence to navigate uneven sidewalks and steps without fear. Research from the Journal of Gerontology reveals something fascinating about calf muscles. They lose strength faster than almost any other muscle group as we age, sometimes declining by up to 20% per decade after age 60. This rapid decline explains why so many people notice changes in their walking pattern and balance. But here's the encouraging part. The same research shows that calf muscles also respond to exercise more quickly than most other muscles. Within just 4 to 6 weeks of targeted training, participants in the study showed significant improvements in both muscle strength and walking speed. Your calf muscles are made up of 2 main parts: the larger gastrocnemius muscle that you can see on the back of your leg, and the deeper soleus muscle that works constantly to keep you upright. The supported calf raise works both of these muscles simultaneously, making it incredibly efficient for rebuilding lower leg strength. Strong calves also play a crucial role in balance. They're constantly making tiny adjustments to keep you stable when you're standing or walking. When they're weak, your body compensates by relying more heavily on other muscles, which can lead to fatigue and increased fall risk. Step-by-step guide. Stand facing a sturdy wall or counter, close enough that you can place your hands flat against it for support. Your arms should be slightly bent, not locked straight. Think of the wall as a gentle partner in this exercise, not something you're leaning heavily against. Position your feet hip-width apart, about 12 inches from the wall. This distance gives you stability while still allowing your calf muscles to do the work. Your feet should be pointing straight ahead, parallel to each other. Now, keeping your legs straight but not locked, slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet. Imagine you're trying to make yourself as tall as possible, reaching the top of your head toward the ceiling. This visualization helps ensure you're getting the full range of motion. Hold this raised position for 2 full seconds. This isn't just about getting up on your toes, it's about controlling that position, which builds both strength and balance. Count 1001, 1002 to make sure you're holding long enough. Lower yourself back down with the same controlled speed you used to rise up. Don't let gravity do the work. Your calf muscles should be controlling the descent all the way back to the starting position. As you rise up onto your toes, breathe out slowly and steadily through your mouth. This exhalation helps engage your core muscles and provide stability for the movement. As you hold the top position, continue breathing normally. Don't hold your breath. Some people tend to tense up and stop breathing when they're concentrating, but steady breathing actually improves your performance and keeps you relaxed. As you lower back down, breathe in gently through your nose. This helps you maintain control during the lowering phase and prepares you for the next repetition. Modifications. Beginner level. If rising up onto your toes feels too challenging initially, try doing the movement with one foot at a time. Place most of your weight on one leg and use that leg's calf muscle to lift you up, while the other foot provides just a bit of assistance and stability. You can also start by rising up only part way. Even lifting your heels just an inch or two off the ground is beneficial and will build strength for the full movement. Intermediate level. Once the basic movement becomes comfortable, try holding the raised position for longer periods. Work up to 5 or even 10 seconds. This builds what we call isometric strength, which is crucial for balance and stability. You can also try doing the movement more slowly. Take 3 seconds to rise up, hold for 2 seconds, then take 3 seconds to lower back down. This increased time under tension makes your muscles work harder and builds more strength. Advanced level. When you're feeling strong and confident, try doing the exercise on one foot at a time. Hold the wall lightly for balance, but let one leg do all the work. This is an excellent progression that really challenges your calf muscles and balance systems. Another advanced option is to do the exercise on a step, allowing your heels to drop below the level of your toes before rising up. This increases the range of motion and makes the exercise more challenging, but only attempt this once you've mastered the basic version. Mistakes to avoid. The most common mistake is bouncing or using momentum instead of controlled muscle movement. This should be a smooth, deliberate action powered entirely by your calf muscles, not a quick bounce up and down. Don't lean too heavily on the wall. Your hands should be there for light support and balance, but your calf muscles should be doing the work. If you find yourself pushing hard against the wall, step back a few inches to reduce your reliance on it. Avoid rolling your ankles inward or outward during the movement. Your weight should be evenly distributed across the balls of your feet, and your ankles should stay in a neutral position throughout the entire exercise. Exercise 2. The standing marching in place. Think about the last time you climbed a flight of stairs. Did you feel strong and confident, taking the steps at whatever pace felt comfortable? Or did you find yourself gripping the handrail, perhaps taking the steps one at a time, feeling grateful when you reached the top? The standing march rebuilds the hip flexor muscles, the ones responsible for lifting your legs up with each step you take. These muscles are crucial not just for stair climbing, but for navigating curbs, stepping over obstacles, and maintaining that natural, comfortable walking rhythm that makes you feel graceful and confident. When these muscles are weak, every step becomes more effort than it should be. You might find yourself shuffling instead of lifting your feet clearly off the ground. You might hesitate before stepping up onto a curb or over a threshold. The standing march gives you back that effortless leg lift that makes walking feel natural again. Research from the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation shows that hip flexor weakness is one of the most common contributors to gait problems in older adults. These muscles, located at the front of your hips, are responsible for lifting your thighs up towards your chest with each step. The study found that adults over 65 with weak hip flexors were 3 times more likely to experience falls and twice as likely to develop what researchers call shuffling gait, a walking pattern where the feet barely clear the ground. But here's what gives me tremendous hope for you. The same research demonstrated that simple hip flexor strengthening exercises performed just 3 times per week improved walking speed, step height, and overall confidence in walking within just 6 weeks. Your hip flexors work in coordination with your core muscles to provide stability and power for every step. When they're strong, walking feels effortless. When they're weak, your whole body has to compensate, leading to fatigue and increased fall risk. The standing march specifically targets these hip flexors while also challenging your balance and coordination, making it a comprehensive exercise for better mobility. Step-by-step guide. Stand tall behind a sturdy chair, placing your hands lightly on the back of the chair for balance support. The chair should be positioned so you're not leaning on it heavily. It's there for security, not to hold you up. Begin with your feet hip-width apart and your weight evenly distributed between both feet. Take a moment to find your balance and engage your core muscles by gently drawing your belly button toward your spine. Slowly lift your right knee up toward your chest, aiming to bring your thigh parallel to the floor if possible. Don't worry if you can't get it that high initially. Lift it as high as feels comfortable and controlled. Think about leading the movement with your knee, not your foot. Hold this lifted position for 2 seconds, focusing on maintaining your balance and keeping your standing leg strong and stable. This hold is crucial. It builds strength in the lifted leg and stability in the standing leg simultaneously. Lower your right foot back to the starting position with control, then immediately repeat the same movement with your left leg. This alternating pattern mimics the natural walking motion and helps improve coordination. Continue alternating legs as if you're marching slowly in place, but with intention and control rather than just going through the motions. As you lift your knee up, exhale gently through your mouth. This helps engage your core muscles and provide stability for the movement. Think of your breath as helping to lift your leg up. During the hold phase, breathe normally and steadily. Don't hold your breath. This can cause you to tense up and lose your balance. As you lower your leg back down, inhale slowly through your nose. This helps prepare you for the next lift and keeps your breathing rhythm steady throughout the exercise. Modifications. Beginner level. If lifting your knee feels too challenging or throws off your balance, start by just lifting your toes off the ground while keeping your heel down. This still engages the hip flexor muscles, but requires less strength and balance. You can also hold on to the chair more firmly or even position yourself in a corner where you can lightly touch a wall with one hand for additional stability. Intermediate level. Once the basic movement feels comfortable, try lifting your knees higher. Aim for getting your thigh parallel to the floor or as close as you can manage. You can also increase the hold time to 3 or 4 seconds. Another intermediate progression is to reduce your reliance on the chair. Try using just one finger touching the chair for balance, gradually working toward needing less and less support. Advanced level. When you're feeling strong and stable, try doing the marching movement without holding on to anything at all. Start near the chair so you can grab it if needed, but challenge yourself to maintain balance independently. You can also add a small forward step with each march. Lift your knee, step forward slightly when you put your foot down, then lift the other knee and step forward with that foot. This creates a slow, controlled walking motion that's excellent for building functional strength. Mistakes to avoid. Don't rush the movement or turn it into a quick march. This exercise is about control and strength, not speed. Each lift should be deliberate and held briefly before lowering. Avoid leaning heavily on the chair or using your arms to help lift your legs. The chair is there for balance support only. Your hip muscles should be doing the work of lifting your legs. Don't let your standing leg collapse or your hip drop to one side when you lift the other leg. Focus on keeping your pelvis level and your standing leg strong throughout the movement. Exercise 3. The seated leg extension. Imagine walking into a restaurant and confidently choosing any table you want instead of scanning for the one that's easiest to get in and out of. Picture climbing a flight of stairs without gripping the handrail like your life depends on it. The seated leg extension strengthens your quadriceps, the powerful muscles on the front of your thighs that are absolutely crucial for walking, climbing stairs, and maintaining balance. These muscles are literally what keep you upright and moving forward in life. But this exercise does something even more important. It rebuilds the neural connection between your brain and your leg muscles. As we age, we sometimes lose that instant communication, that automatic firing of muscles when we need them. This exercise helps restore that vital connection. Research from the International Journal of Sports Medicine shows something remarkable. The quadriceps muscles have what scientists call preferential atrophy as we age. This means they shrink faster than almost any other muscle group, sometimes losing strength at nearly twice the rate of other muscles. But here's the encouraging news. The quadriceps also respond to exercise faster than most other muscles. Within just 6 to 8 weeks of consistent training, researchers have documented significant improvements in both muscle size and strength. Your quadriceps are also intimately connected to your knee health. Strong quadriceps act like natural shock absorbers, reducing the stress on your knee joints with every step you take. This exercise isn't just building muscle, it's protecting your joints and ensuring your mobility for years to come. The seated position makes this exercise incredibly safe while still being remarkably effective. You're working the muscle through its full range of motion without putting any stress on your back or requiring balance and coordination. Step-by-step guide. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your back fully supported against the backrest. Your feet should be flat on the floor with your knees bent at about a 90-degree angle. If your feet don't quite reach the floor, place a phone book or cushion underneath them. Grip the sides of your chair lightly with your hands. This isn't for pulling yourself up, it's just for stability and to remind yourself to keep your upper body relaxed and upright. Choose one leg to start with. It doesn't matter which one. Keep your thigh pressed firmly into the seat of the chair. This is important. Your thigh shouldn't lift off the chair during this exercise. Now, slowly straighten your leg, lifting your foot until your leg is as straight as you can comfortably make it. Think about pushing through your heel, not just lifting your toe. This engages more of the muscle and makes the exercise more effective. Hold that straight leg position for just 1 second, long enough to feel your thigh muscle working, but not so long that it becomes uncomfortable. Lower your foot back down with the same controlled speed you used to lift it up. Don't let gravity do the work. You control the descent. As you straighten your leg, breathe out gently through your mouth. This helps you engage your core and generates a bit of internal power to help with the movement. As you lower your leg back down, breathe in slowly through your nose. This helps you stay relaxed and controlled during the lowering phase. Don't hold your breath during this exercise. Some people tend to tense up and stop breathing when they're concentrating on the movement, but steady breathing actually helps you perform better and stay relaxed. Modifications. Beginner level. If straightening your leg completely feels too challenging, only go as far as comfortable. Maybe you can only lift your foot a few inches off the ground. That's perfectly fine. Start where you are, not where you think you should be. You can also support your leg by placing your hands underneath your thigh as you lift. This reduces the load on your quadriceps while still giving them work to do. Intermediate level. Once the basic movement becomes easy, try holding the straight leg position for 3 to 5 seconds instead of just 1. This adds what we call isometric strength, the ability to hold a position steady. You can also try doing the movement more slowly. Take 3 seconds to straighten your leg, hold for 2 seconds, then take 3 seconds to lower it back down. Advanced level. For those who want an extra challenge, try pointing your toe upward, flexing your foot when your leg is straight. This engages your shin muscles and makes the exercise more comprehensive. Some of you might eventually add a light ankle weight, maybe just a pound or 2. But honestly, most people find plenty of challenge in the body weight version when performed with good form and controlled timing. Mistakes to avoid. Don't let your back round or slouch during this exercise. Keep your spine tall and your shoulders back. Think about growing taller through the top of your head while keeping your core gently engaged. Avoid swinging or using momentum to lift your leg. This should be a smooth, controlled movement, powered entirely by your thigh muscles, not by rocking back and forth. Don't forget about the lowering phase. Many people focus only on lifting the leg up, but let it drop down quickly. The lowering phase is just as important for building strength. Perhaps even more important. Creating your routine. Now that you understand these 3 exercises, let's talk about how to weave them into your daily life in a way that feels natural and sustainable. Think of these exercises like brushing your teeth, not something you do when you feel like it, but something that becomes as automatic as your morning coffee or evening news. Frequency and timing. Start with 3 days per week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday work well because they're evenly spaced. This gives your muscles time to recover between sessions, which is when the actual strengthening happens. You don't need to set aside a huge block of time. 15 minutes is plenty. In fact, it's better to do these exercises for 10 minutes consistently than to do them for 30 minutes sporadically. Many of my viewers find success by linking these exercises to something they already do regularly. Maybe right after your morning coffee or during the commercial breaks of your favorite TV show or while waiting for dinner to cook. Sets and repetitions. For the chair-supported squat, start with 8 to 12 repetitions. If you can easily do 12 with perfect form, you're ready to progress to the intermediate version. If 8 feels challenging, that's your starting point, and that's perfectly fine. The wall push-up follows the same pattern. 8 to 12 repetitions to start. Focus on quality over quantity. I'd rather see you do 5 perfect wall push-ups than 15 sloppy ones. For the seated leg extension, do 8 to 12 repetitions with each leg. You might find that one leg is stronger than the other. This is completely normal. Start with your weaker leg and match that number with your stronger leg. Rest for about 30 to 60 seconds between exercises. This isn't a race. Use this time to take a few deep breaths, maybe walk around a little, or simply appreciate what you're doing for your body. Progression over time. Every 2 weeks, check in with yourself. Are the exercises feeling easier? Are you moving with more confidence? Can you do them with better form than when you started? If the answer is yes, it's time to progress. Maybe you add 2 more repetitions to each exercise. Or you try the intermediate version of one of the movements, or you slow down the tempo to make each repetition more challenging. The beauty of these exercises is that there's always a way to make them more challenging as you get stronger, but you never outgrow them. I know people in their 80s who still do variations of these exact movements. Listening to your body. Some days you'll feel strong and energetic. Other days you might feel a bit stiff or tired. This is normal. Your body isn't a machine that performs exactly the same every day. On your stronger days, maybe you do an extra set or try a slightly more challenging variation. On days when you're not feeling your best, stick with the basic versions and focus on perfect form. If something hurts, and I mean sharp pain, not the normal muscle fatigue of exercise, stop immediately. These exercises should never cause pain. Mild muscle fatigue is normal and good. Pain is your body's warning system telling you something isn't right. The science of muscle maintenance. Let me share with you some fascinating research that explains why these 3 exercises are so powerful for people over 50. Understanding sarcopenia. The medical term for age-related muscle loss is sarcopenia, which literally means poverty of flesh. It sounds dramatic, but understanding what's happening in your body can actually be empowering. Starting around age 30, we begin losing muscle mass at a rate of about 3 to 8% per decade. After 50, this process can accelerate, particularly if we're sedentary. But here's what's encouraging. Sarcopenia isn't inevitable or irreversible. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 1,600 adults aged 70 to 89 for 2.5 years. Half the participants did structured exercise programs, while the other half attended health education seminars. The results were remarkable. Those who exercised maintained their ability to walk without assistance 18% longer than those who didn't. More importantly, they maintained their independence longer. They stayed in their own homes, drove their own cars, and lived life on their own terms for significantly longer periods. The power of resistance training. What makes our 3 exercises so effective is that they're forms of resistance training. Your muscles are working against resistance, whether that's your own body weight or gravity. Research from the University of Alabama found that adults over 60 who performed resistance exercises twice a week for 16 weeks increased their muscle mass by an average of 2.4 pounds and their strength by 25 to 30%. But here's what's even more impressive. They also improved their bone density, their balance, their sleep quality, and their overall sense of well-being. Exercise isn't just about muscles. It's about maintaining the entire system that keeps you vital and independent. The neural component. One thing that's often overlooked is that muscle weakness as we age isn't just about the muscles themselves. It's also about the communication between your brain and your muscles. Think of your nervous system like the wiring in your house. If you don't use certain circuits for a long time, the connections can become less reliable. Regular exercise keeps those neural pathways active and efficient. This is why people often notice improvements in their strength and coordination within just a few weeks of starting an exercise program, even before significant muscle growth has occurred. You're essentially rewiring your body's communication system. The metabolic benefits. Muscle tissue is metabolically active, which means it burns calories even when you're resting. The more muscle mass you maintain, the higher your metabolic rate. Your body's engine runs a bit hotter and more efficiently. This has implications beyond just weight management. A higher metabolic rate is associated with better blood sugar control, improved heart health, and even better immune function. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that adults who maintain their muscle mass as they age have significantly lower rates of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even certain types of cancer. Beyond the physical, the confidence connection. While we've been talking about muscles and strength, there's something equally important happening when you commit to these exercises. You're rebuilding your confidence in your own body. The psychology of movement. Every time you complete one of these exercises, you're sending a message to yourself. I am capable. I am strong. I am worth the effort. This psychological component is just as important as the physical benefits. Dr. Sarah Chen, a researcher at the Mayo Clinic, has studied what she calls movement confidence in older adults. Her research shows that people who engage in regular, purposeful exercise report feeling more in control of their lives, more optimistic about the future, and more willing to engage in social activities. It's not just about being able to lift heavier things or walk farther, though those are wonderful benefits. It's about the deep satisfaction that comes from taking care of yourself, from being proactive about your health, from refusing to accept decline as inevitable. Breaking the cycle of avoidance. Many people develop what researchers call movement avoidance as they age. Maybe you had a fall or felt unsteady or just noticed that certain activities felt more difficult than they used to, so you start avoiding those activities. But here's what happens. The less you move, the weaker you become. The weaker you become, the more difficult movement feels. It's a downward spiral that can happen so gradually you don't even notice it's occurring. These 3 exercises are specifically designed to break that cycle. They're safe enough that you can do them with confidence, but effective enough to create real change. They give you evidence, tangible, measurable proof that you're getting stronger. Social and emotional benefits. I've received countless messages from viewers who tell me that starting an exercise routine changed more than just their physical strength. They report feeling more confident in social situations, more willing to try new activities, more optimistic about their future. One viewer, Margaret from Ohio, wrote to tell me that after 3 months of doing these exercises, she felt confident enough to sign up for a line dancing class she'd been thinking about for years. Another, Robert from Texas, said he was finally comfortable playing at the park with his grandchildren instead of just watching from the bench. These stories remind me why this work matters so much. Yes, we're talking about exercises and muscles and strength, but what we're really talking about is freedom. The freedom to live your life fully, to engage with the world on your own terms, to age with grace and dignity. Troubleshooting common challenges. Let me address some of the concerns and obstacles that people often face when starting these exercises. I'm too out of shape to start. This is probably the most common concern I hear, and I understand it completely. The idea of starting an exercise program can feel overwhelming when you haven't been active for a while. But here's the truth. There's no such thing as being too out of shape to start taking care of yourself. These exercises are designed to meet you wherever you are right now. If you can sit in a chair and stand up from it, you can do a modified version of the chair squat. If you can place your hands on a wall, you can do the wall push-up. Start with what feels comfortable, even if that means doing just 1 or 2 repetitions of each exercise. The goal isn't to exhaust yourself, it's to begin the process of rebuilding your confidence and your strength. I don't have time. I hear this one a lot, and I always respond with a question. How much time do you spend watching television each day, or scrolling through news on your phone, or sitting at the kitchen table with your morning coffee? These exercises take 10 to 15 minutes, 3 times per week. That's less time than most people spend deciding what to watch on Netflix. But more importantly, think about the time these exercises might save you in the long run. Every day you invest in maintaining your strength and mobility is potentially a day you won't need to spend in a doctor's office or physical therapy clinic or, heaven forbid, a nursing home. My doctor says I should be careful. Absolutely, you should be careful, and the best way to be careful is to stay strong and maintain your balance and coordination. These exercises are low impact and joint-friendly, much safer than the alternative of becoming progressively weaker. That said, it's always wise to discuss any new exercise program with your healthcare provider, especially if you have specific health conditions or take medications that might affect your balance or energy levels. Most doctors are thrilled when their patients take initiative with exercise. But if your doctor has concerns, ask for specific guidance about modifications you might need to make. I'm afraid of falling or getting hurt. This fear is completely understandable and actually shows good judgment. The beautiful thing about these 3 exercises is that they're specifically designed to reduce your risk of falls and injuries. The chair squat is done with a chair right behind you for support. The wall push-up keeps you stable and upright throughout the movement. The seated leg extension is done entirely while sitting down. These exercises are actually building the exact strength and coordination that help prevent falls in real life. The stronger your legs are, the better your balance becomes. The stronger your core is, the more stable you are when moving around. I don't see results fast enough. In our instant gratification world, it can be frustrating when changes don't happen immediately. But your body is making adaptations from the very first exercise session. Many of them just aren't visible yet. Neural improvements happen within days or weeks. You might notice you can do the exercises with better form, or they feel slightly easier, or you feel more coordinated. These are real improvements, even if they don't show up on a scale or in a mirror. Strength gains typically become noticeable within 4 to 6 weeks. Visible changes in muscle size usually take 8 to 12 weeks. But remember, the most important changes, the ones that affect your daily life, often happen much sooner. After just a few weeks, you might notice you can get up from your chair more easily, or climb stairs with less effort, or carry groceries without feeling as winded. These functional improvements are actually more valuable than any change you might see in a mirror. Nutrition to support your efforts. While these exercises are incredibly effective on their own, what you eat can either support or undermine your efforts to maintain and build muscle. Protein, your muscle's best friend. Protein isn't just for bodybuilders. It's essential for everyone, especially as we age. Your muscles are constantly breaking down and rebuilding themselves, and protein provides the raw materials for that rebuilding process. Research shows that adults over 50 need more protein per pound of body weight than younger adults. The general recommendation is about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For a 150-pound person, that's roughly 68 to 82 grams of protein per day. Good sources include lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy products, beans, nuts, and seeds. You don't need to eat huge steaks or drink protein shakes, just make sure each meal includes a good protein source. Timing matters. Try to spread your protein intake throughout the day rather than having most of it at dinner. Your muscles can only use so much protein at one time for rebuilding, so having some at each meal is more effective than loading up all at once. A simple approach: aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein at each main meal. That might be 2 eggs at breakfast, a chicken breast at lunch, and some fish at dinner. Don't forget the basics. While protein gets a lot of attention, don't overlook the fundamentals. Fruits and vegetables for vitamins and minerals, whole grains for sustained energy, and plenty of water for overall health. Your body needs a full spectrum of nutrients to build and maintain muscle effectively. Think of protein as the bricks in a house, essential but useless without the mortar, other nutrients that holds everything together. Adapting the exercises for different conditions. Life isn't perfect, and bodies aren't either. Let me address how to modify these exercises if you're dealing with common conditions that affect many people over 50. Arthritis. If you have arthritis, particularly in your knees or hips, you might worry that exercise will make it worse. Actually, the opposite is usually true. Gentle, regular movement helps maintain joint mobility and can reduce pain over time. For the chair squat, don't go as deep. Stop when you feel slight tension in your knees rather than touching the chair. The movement itself is beneficial even if the range is limited. For the wall push-up, if your wrists are arthritic, try making fists and pushing against the wall with your knuckles instead of open palms. This keeps your wrists in a neutral position. For the seated leg extension, move slowly and never force the movement into pain. Some days, your range of motion might be less than others. That's okay. Balance issues. If you have concerns about balance, safety modifications are crucial. For the chair squat, keep one hand on the back of the chair throughout the movement. There's no shame in using extra support. It's smart. For the wall push-up, stand closer to the wall so there's less angle and less challenge to your balance. The seated leg extension is perfect if balance is a concern since you're sitting the entire time. Previous injuries. If you've had knee replacement surgery, ask your doctor or physical therapist about the chair squat. Many people can do it without problems, but you want professional guidance specific to your situation. If you've had shoulder surgery or problems, start the wall push-up with your hands positioned lower on the wall, closer to chest height, to reduce the stress on your shoulders. For any previous back injuries, focus extra attention on maintaining good posture during all 3 exercises. Your core should be gently engaged throughout each movement. Chronic conditions. If you have diabetes, heart disease, or other chronic conditions, exercise is often beneficial, but should be approached thoughtfully. These exercises are generally very safe for people with chronic conditions, but it's wise to discuss them with your healthcare team. Start even more conservatively than usual, maybe just 3 to 5 repetitions of each exercise to begin with. Pay attention to how you feel during and after exercising. If you feel dizzy, overly short of breath, or experience chest discomfort, stop immediately and consult your doctor. Building a support system. One of the best predictors of long-term success with exercise is having some form of support system. This doesn't mean you need to hire a personal trainer or join an expensive gym. It just means you're not doing this completely alone. Family involvement. Consider sharing your exercise goals with family members. Sometimes they can be your biggest cheerleaders. Maybe your spouse can do the exercises with you, or your adult children can check in periodically to see how you're progressing. If you have grandchildren, they might love to count your repetitions or be your exercise buddy. Kids have a wonderful ability to make exercise feel like play rather than work. Finding an exercise partner. If you have a neighbor or friend who might benefit from these exercises too, consider doing them together. Having someone to be accountable to can be incredibly motivating. You could meet a few times per week to do the exercises together, or simply check in with each other by phone to confirm you've done your routine. Online communities. There are many online communities focused on fitness for older adults. While I can't endorse any specific groups, many people find motivation and support by connecting with others who have similar goals. Just be discerning about the advice you receive online. Stick with evidence-based approaches and remember that what works for one person might not work for another. Professional support. If your budget allows, consider a few sessions with a physical therapist or qualified personal trainer who specializes in working with older adults. They can help you perfect your form, suggest modifications specific to your needs, and build your confidence. Many insurance plans cover physical therapy, especially if your doctor refers you for balance issues or general deconditioning. Staying motivated for the long term. The hardest part of any exercise program isn't the physical challenge. It's the mental challenge of consistency. Here are strategies that have helped thousands of people stick with their exercise routines. Start small and celebrate progress. Don't try to be perfect from day one. If you miss a day, don't let it turn into missing a week. Just get back to your routine as soon as possible. Celebrate small victories. Maybe you did an extra repetition this week, or the exercises felt easier, or you remembered to do them without having to look at your notes. These are all signs of progress worth acknowledging. Track your progress. Keep a simple log of your exercises. It doesn't need to be elaborate, just a note of which exercises you did and how many repetitions. Over time, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come. Many people are surprised to realize that what felt challenging in week 1 becomes easy by week 4. Having that written record helps you appreciate your progress. Focus on how you feel. While it's natural to want to see physical changes, pay attention to how exercise makes you feel. Do you have more energy? Do you sleep better? Do you feel more confident moving around? These quality-of-life improvements often happen before visible physical changes, and they're actually more important for your overall well-being. Prepare for setbacks. Everyone has days when they don't feel like exercising. Everyone gets sick sometimes or has schedule disruptions. This is normal and doesn't mean you've failed. The key is getting back to your routine as soon as reasonably possible. Think of setbacks as temporary detours, not permanent roadblocks. Make it enjoyable. Exercise doesn't have to be boring or feel like punishment. Put on your favorite music while you do these exercises, or do them while watching your favorite TV show. Find ways to make the experience pleasant. Some people enjoy the meditative quality of focusing on their breath and movement. Others prefer the energizing feeling of moving to upbeat music. There's no right or wrong way. Just find what makes you want to come back tomorrow. Remember your why. On days when motivation is low, Remember why you started. Maybe it's because you want to keep playing with your grandchildren. Maybe you want to maintain your independence as long as possible. Maybe you simply want to feel strong and capable in your own body. Write down your personal reasons for doing these exercises and refer back to them when you need encouragement. Your why is more powerful than any external motivation. The ripple effects of strength. As you continue with these 3 exercises, you'll likely notice changes that extend far beyond the specific muscles being worked. Let me share some of the broader impacts you might experience. Improved sleep quality. Regular exercise, particularly resistance training, like our 3 exercises, often leads to better sleep. Your body appreciates the physical work you've done and rewards you with deeper, more restorative rest. Better sleep means better recovery, which means you'll feel stronger and more energetic for your next exercise session. It's a positive cycle that builds on itself. Enhanced mood and mental clarity. Physical activity stimulates the release of endorphins, your body's natural feel-good chemicals. But beyond that temporary mood boost, regular exercise has been shown to reduce anxiety and depression while improving cognitive function. Many people report feeling more mentally sharp and emotionally stable after establishing a consistent exercise routine. This isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental resilience too. Greater social engagement. As you feel stronger and more confident in your body, you might find yourself more willing to engage in social activities. Maybe you'll feel comfortable joining that walking group you've been thinking about, or you'll be more likely to accept invitations to events that involve physical activity. Strength breeds confidence, and confidence breeds connection. The exercises you do in private often lead to richer experiences in your public life. Reduced healthcare costs. While this shouldn't be your primary motivation, it's worth noting that people who maintain their strength and mobility as they age typically have lower healthcare expenses. Fewer falls mean fewer emergency room visits. Better balance means less risk of fractures. Maintained muscle mass means better metabolic health. Every minute you spend doing these exercises is potentially saving you hours in medical appointments down the road. Seasonal adaptations. Your exercise routine doesn't have to look exactly the same year-round. Different seasons might call for slight modifications to keep you consistent and comfortable. Winter considerations. If you live in a climate with harsh winters, you might find yourself less active during the cold months. This makes your indoor exercise routine even more crucial. Consider doing your exercises in the warmest, most comfortable room in your house during winter. Some people find that exercising near a sunny window boosts their mood during darker months. If seasonal depression affects you, maintaining your exercise routine becomes even more important. The combination of physical activity and the sense of accomplishment from sticking to your routine can be a powerful antidote to winter blues. Summer adjustments. In hot weather, timing becomes important. Consider doing your exercises earlier in the morning or later in the evening when temperatures are cooler. Stay hydrated, especially if you're doing the exercises in a warm room. Keep a water bottle nearby and take sips between exercises. If you travel during summer months, these exercises are perfect because they don't require any equipment. You can do them in a hotel room, at a family member's house, or even outdoors if you can find a suitable wall. Holiday seasons. Holidays often disrupt normal routines, but there are also times when you might be more active, playing with visiting grandchildren, helping with meal preparation, or attending social events. Don't abandon your exercise routine during holidays, but be flexible about when you do it. Maybe you do a shorter version on busy days or combine family time with physical activity by having the grandchildren count your repetitions. Addressing common myths. Let me address some misconceptions about exercise and aging that might be holding you back. It's too late to start. This is perhaps the most damaging myth of all. Research consistently shows that people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s can gain strength and improve their function with appropriate exercise. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine followed nursing home residents with an average age of 87. After just 10 weeks of resistance training, training participants increased their leg strength by an average of 113% and their walking speed by 11.8%. If people in their late 80s living in nursing homes can gain strength, imagine what you can accomplish in your own home with consistent effort. No pain, no gain. This outdated thinking is particularly dangerous for older adults. Pain is your body's warning system. It's telling you something is wrong. The feeling you want during exercise is muscle fatigue, not pain. Muscle fatigue feels like your muscles are working hard and getting tired. Pain feels sharp, sudden, or like something is being damaged. These three exercises should never cause pain. If they do, stop immediately and consider whether you need to modify the movement or consult a healthcare provider. Cardio is more important than strength training. While cardiovascular exercise is important, strength training is equally crucial as we age, perhaps even more so. You can have good cardiovascular fitness but still struggle with daily activities if you lack the muscle strength to carry groceries, get up from chairs, or maintain your balance. The ideal approach includes both cardiovascular exercise and strength training, but if you had to choose one, strength training provides more functional benefits for daily living. Women don't need to worry about muscle loss as much as men. Actually, women lose muscle mass at approximately the same rate as men after menopause, and sometimes faster. The hormonal changes that occur during menopause can accelerate muscle loss. This makes strength training equally important for women, if not more so. The good news is that women respond to resistance training just as well as men in terms of gaining strength and function. Light weights or bodyweight exercises aren't effective. Some people believe that unless you're lifting heavy weights in a gym, you're not really strength training. This couldn't be further from the truth. Bodyweight exercises like our 3 movements can be incredibly effective, especially for people who haven't been doing regular resistance training. Your muscles don't know the difference between lifting a heavy weight and lifting your own body against gravity. They just know they're being challenged. The science of consistency. Understanding why consistency matters more than intensity can help you maintain your exercise routine for the long term. Muscle memory. Your muscles have a remarkable ability to remember previous strength and return to it more quickly if you've been strong before, but this muscle memory fades over time without use. Regular exercise, even just 3 times per week, helps maintain this muscle memory and makes it easier to regain strength if you have to take time off for illness or injury. Neural adaptations. The first improvements you'll notice from these exercises aren't actually muscle growth. They're improvements in the communication between your nervous system and your muscles. Your brain learns to recruit muscle fibers more efficiently, coordinate movements better, and maintain balance more effectively. These neural adaptations happen quickly, but also fade quickly without consistent practice. Habit formation. Research on habit formation shows that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a new behavior to become automatic, with an average of 66 days. This means that for the first 2 months or so, doing these exercises will require conscious effort and decision-making. But after that point, it often becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. The key is getting through those first 66 days, which is why starting small and being patient with yourself is so important. Advanced progressions for the future. While these 3 exercises will serve you well for a long time, eventually you might want additional challenges or variations. Chair squat progressions. Once you've mastered the basic chair squat, you might try squatting to a lower surface, like a coffee table or ottoman, holding the bottom position for longer periods, doing single-leg squats, using the chair for balance but lifting one foot off the ground, adding gentle weights, like holding a gallon of milk or a bag of flour. Wall push-up progressions. As you get stronger with wall push-ups, you might progress to push-ups against a park bench or sturdy table, incline push-ups with your hands on a couch or bed, eventually push-ups from your knees on the floor, single-arm wall push-ups for an extra balance challenge. Seated leg extension progressions. Once the basic movement becomes easy, you might try adding ankle weights for extra resistance, doing both legs at the same time, standing leg extensions, holding onto a chair for balance, adding a pause at the top of the movement. Remember, these are future possibilities, not requirements. Many people find the basic versions challenging and effective for years. Progress only when you feel ready and confident. Seasonal motivation strategies. Maintaining motivation year-round requires different strategies for different seasons. Spring renewal. Use the natural energy of spring as motivation to recommit to your exercise routine. This might be a good time to reassess your goals or add small challenges to keep things interesting. Spring cleaning isn't just for your house. It's a perfect time to clean up your exercise habits and recommit to consistency. Summer consistency. Summer often brings travel and schedule changes. Plan ahead for how you'll maintain your routine during vacations or when grandchildren are visiting. These exercises are perfect for travel because they don't require any equipment. Practice doing them in different locations so you're comfortable with the routine wherever you are. Fall preparation. As days get shorter and weather becomes less inviting, use fall as a time to prepare your winter exercise space. Make sure you have a comfortable, well-lit area where you'll want to exercise even on dark, cold days. Fall is also a good time to stock up on any comfort items that make exercise more enjoyable. Maybe a new comfortable mat, a space heater for your exercise area, or a playlist of energizing music. Winter persistence. Winter is often the most challenging time to maintain exercise routines. The combination of shorter days, cold weather, and holiday disruptions can derail even the best intentions. Consider exercising at the same time each day to maintain routine. Many people find that exercising first thing in the morning works well in winter because it's done before the day's challenges can interfere. Conclusion: your strength journey continues. As we reach the end of our time together today, I want you to know that what you've learned isn't just information. It's transformation waiting to happen. Acknowledging your commitment. The fact that you've stayed with me through this entire presentation tells me something important about you. You're serious about maintaining your strength, your independence, and your quality of life. That commitment is the most important ingredient in your success. These 3 exercises, the chair-supported squat, the wall push-up, and the seated leg extension, are your tools. But you are the craftsperson. Your consistency, your patience with yourself, and your belief in your own capability will determine the results. The journey ahead. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you'll have a choice. You can approach your day the same way you did yesterday, or you can begin something new. You can start reclaiming the strength that time has slowly borrowed from you. Each movement you make is a message to your body. We're not done yet. We're still vital. We're still growing stronger. Your muscles will receive that message and respond accordingly. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more fully yourself. The person who carries groceries without hesitation. The person who gets up from chairs with grace. The person who moves through the world with quiet confidence. Beyond the physical, Yes, these exercises will make your muscles stronger. They'll improve your balance and coordination. They'll help you maintain the physical capabilities that independence requires. But they'll do something more. They'll remind you daily that you have agency in your own life, that you can influence your future, that aging doesn't mean surrendering, it means adapting, growing, and finding new ways to thrive. Your support network. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Share your goals with people who care about you. Let them be part of your success story. When you complete your first week of exercises, tell someone. When you notice yourself getting up from chairs more easily, celebrate that victory. And remember that I'm here with you, even though we're not in the same room. Every time you do these exercises, you're part of a community of people who have decided that their strength and vitality are worth fighting for. The ripple effects. The changes you make in your own life don't stop with you. When your children see you taking care of yourself, you're modeling healthy aging. When your grandchildren see you moving with confidence, you're showing them what's possible. When your friends notice your improved energy and mood, you might inspire them to begin their own strength journey. Your decision to prioritize your health creates ripples that extend far beyond your own life. A personal promise. I want to make you a promise. If you commit to these 3 exercises, really commit with consistency and patience, your future self will thank you. Not just in weeks or months, but in years to come. You'll thank yourself the first time you realize you've climbed a flight of stairs without thinking about it. You'll thank yourself when you're able to play actively with grandchildren instead of watching from the sidelines. You'll thank yourself every morning when you wake up feeling capable and strong. Final thoughts. Your muscles aren't disappearing because you're getting older. They're disappearing because they're not being asked to work. These 3 exercises are your invitation to them. Come back. We need you. We value you. We're going to take care of you. Start tomorrow. Start with just 1 set of each exercise. Start imperfectly if you must, but start. Your strength is waiting for you. It's been patient, but it's ready to return. The chair squat will rebuild the foundation that keeps you upright and mobile. The wall push-up will restore the power in your arms and chest that helps you navigate the physical world. The seated leg extension will strengthen the muscles that carry you forward through life. But most importantly, all 3 will remind you that you are not a passive participant in your own aging. You are an active agent in your own life, capable of growth, change, and strength at any age. Call to action. If these exercises helped you today, if you can see yourself incorporating them into your life, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment with just the number 3. Let me know you're ready to commit to these 3 life-changing movements. Consider subscribing if you'd like more content designed specifically for your age group, your needs, and your goals. I create these videos because I believe deeply in your potential for strength and vitality. And if you know someone else who might benefit from this information, a spouse, a friend, a neighbor, please share this with them. The gift of strength is one of the most generous things you can offer someone you care about. Remember, it's never too late to get stronger, and you don't have to do it alone. Your strength journey begins now. I'm honored to be part of it.